Looks like we're good. Okay. Hey, everyone. My name is GitLab Duo. Good to see you all. And I'm excited. Just joking. My name is Justin Ferris, product leader at GitLab. If you can't tell, I was at Summit last week, and I lost my voice. So for those of you who were there, it was awesome to see you. But today we get to kick off 1611, which is the last minor release in GitLab 16. So I'm super excited about that. I'm joined today by some of my favorite members of the product team, and I'm going to list them in order of their presentation. First is Taylor McCaslin, who's going to go first this time and give us updates on data science. Matthew McFarland will provide updates for dev. Jackie Porter will provide updates for CI/CD. Sam White will cover sec and govern, and then Josh Lambert will bring us home with core platforms. We're focused on delivering value with a focus on our fiscal year 25 product investment themes. Our themes are enable AI ML across the DevSecOps, drive use case adoption to help customers fully realize value of platform, differentiate on our DevSecOps platform, and strengthen our SaaS deployments and capabilities. Before I hand it off to Taylor, I do have to read our public service announcement. This live stream, we're going to be discussing product roadmap, which includes upcoming features and functionality. It's important to note that this information is presented for informational purposes only, so please do not rely on this information for purchasing or planning purposes. We plan ambitiously here at GitLab, and the details discussed on this live stream are subject to change. The timing of any products, features, and functionality remain at the sole discretion of GitLab. All right, and with that, I'll hand it over to Taylor to kick things off.
Awesome. Thanks, Justin. Hi, everyone. My name is Taylor McCaslin. I'm a group manager of product for our data science section. Everything we work on supports the theme of enabling AI ML efficiencies across DevSecOps. Let's focus on the AI-powered stage today, which helps GitLab build AI and ML into our software focused largely on GitLab Duo. To start, I'll cover AI framework, which is focused on a variety of different hardening and readiness plans to get Duo Chat ready for GA. I'm not going to commit to a date on this live stream, but it is coming soon as we have a quality product that's ready for the market. A lot of variety of different things, improving inconsistencies, evaluating prompts, investigating how our tool selection works. So all of that continuing to harden chat and make it ready for GA. Next, onto model validation. We are using our model validation framework to essentially determine various experiments that we are going to try to improve the quality of chat. So you see here a long list of different ideas that we have to improve the quality of chat. Each one of these are being explored individually to see if they move the needle on quality of responses for Duo Chat. And get merged into the product. Ideally, all of these things push us forward, though success also looks like discovering that an experiment does not actually improve the quality, and we'll close that and move on to another experiment. We're also working on a couple of various bugs on our evaluation framework. We're running that framework daily. There's some oddities with how that runs, and so we're improving the stability of that. We're also building out new data sets to power the evaluation of a variety of different features of our AI-powered Duo capabilities. So that is a quick summary of all of the things we're working on in this release, and I think I'm handing it off to Matthew.
I was actually going to see if Jackie, you could go next. Is that okay?
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
My name is Jackie Porter. I'm Director of Product over CI section, and I am kicking it off for the CI/CD sections. I'll go ahead and get my screen all presented. So as a quick recap, the sections that are contained within the CI/CD all support developers and platform engineers to complete their automation, configuration, and tasks within GitLab after their code has been submitted. We are comprised of verify, package, and deploy, and we have a few investments planned in 16.11. Our first theme for this release is drive use case adoption. We have several teams making really great improvements here. First up is pipeline execution, who is laser focused on bringing competitive capabilities of merge trains to the forefront, which will help organizations to scale better as they adopt source code capabilities and CI together. The group will be specifically improving functionality related to rebasing for fast forward merge trains and semi-linear merge trains, which will help our customers and users currently on MargeBot get off of it. Next up, our pipeline security team will be improving our security posture at runtime. First up, the team is improving error handling of CI job token, which is going to help our users realize any allow list configuration challenges whenever they're scoping the allow list configuration for CI job token, making it easier for users to know when they've granted access properly to CI job token. Second, the group will be continuing to focus on our secrets manager capability, including the front end for creating secrets managers. So here they're going to create a form for creating secrets, which is an important workflow for most secrets managers. And then the next capability we'll be working on is a details page for secrets. So this is, for example, if you wanted to see a particular key, this allows you to see what's created, expiration date, rotation schedule. So all of the sort of details that you would expect to see for secrets inside of GitLab. Finally, our runner core team will be investing in a critical component related to CI steps experiment, which is driving a mechanism to successfully run a GitHub action inside of a CI step. So this is the compatibility layer of being able to ingest a GitHub action inside of GitLab and run it successfully. Really excited about this capability, and this is the first iteration toward that. Another key theme that these sections are working on is differentiating on DevSecOps platform. The deploy group is working not only on supporting GitLab agent for Kubernetes adoption this milestone, but expanding resource groups, which is a powerful capability to support a default process for creation of resource groups, making the capability more useful for orchestrating deployments and sequencing jobs. This will be a really helpful capability for people who are currently limited by that functionality today. The package group also has some exciting UI improvements that will make the experience more intuitive and easier to navigate. First up, they're working on displaying the last published date inside of the container registry, so you no longer have to guess when that container was last published in the registry, given that the only date that was exposed before was the creation date. Also, the team will be working on more UI-based error handling inside of the package space. So developers and platform engineers will be able to better take action in the event of a package upload failure. For the last theme, our teams have been working on contributing to the Google Console beta launch, which is right around the corner. And most importantly, we've been focusing on 3 different spaces, which is runner creation, package creation, and authentication. Our package team has some specific enhancements related to Google artifact management, simplifications, and validation of container images to the Google Cloud. So we're really excited about what's going to be coming out of this release specific to this space. This is not a comprehensive list of what our teams are working on, so please check out direction pages and whatever in their kickoff direction and follow up if you have any questions. That wraps it up for CI/CD. I'll either pass it off to Matthew or to Sam White.
All right, thanks, Jackie. I think I'm up next. So for the sec section, we are improving on the continuous vulnerability scanning capabilities, which we released over the last little while to add support for continuous vulnerability scanning of all of the container images in the GitLab container registry. This is pretty exciting because it means that anything you push to the GitLab container registry is going to just automatically be scanned for you without any configuration required in order to get it set up. This is obviously a very large project. We're only just starting into it in 16.11, so it's going to still be several milestones before it's released, but we are actively beginning development work in this area. Next, as far as for our SAST capabilities, we're continuing to consolidate onto SEMGREP. We have plans to move several additional analyzers over into SEMGREP with rules there so that we can deprecate and remove those and eventually consolidate completely as much as we can on one analyzer. Also, we came out with pre-received secret detection. As of today, this is in closed beta on GitLab dedicated only. We're working to make this available as an opt-in or open beta for gitlab.com. So this is another area that we're working on. So if your customers or you are interested in this, this is something that we hope to be able to support more broadly in the near future. Also, we plan work to better track our secret detection findings, especially when they move across different line items or when they appear multiple times within the same file. As of today, these things report up separate findings, and even though it really is the same leak, we're planning to track this even when it moves within a file as just one finding so that you don't see it as both resolved and newly created inside of the merge request. And instead, you can go ahead and just track those as a single finding without reporting up duplicates. We continue to improve the performance of our DAST analyzer so that it can be fully ready for 17.0. And part of this also includes adding support for additional active checks in our browser-based DAST analyzer. This is going to help us to achieve full feature parity as close as we can to the existing proxy-based analyzer, and we do plan on removing support for our proxy-based analyzer ZAP in 17.0, so this is going to help close that gap so that our users can consolidate on that browser-based analyzer. On the authentication side, we're working to make it possible to disable personal access tokens for an entire group. This is also going to help users to better secure their workspace so that if they want to disable those, they can. Similarly, we plan work to remove some of the blockers towards allowing enterprise users to be managed in a way that allows them to have password authentication disabled. This is a 2-milestone project, so we actually plan on releasing it in 17.0, but this new approach will let group administrators be able to manage for their enterprise users whether or not password authentication is permitted. As far as custom roles go, we are planning to refactor the layout of this page to make it a little bit more consolidated and easier to use. We're also planning to continue to add custom permissions. This milestone, we have 4 custom permissions that we're planning to add, including the ability to manage compliance framework labels, manage security policy links, manage merge request settings, and manage runners. So this additional granularity is going to help users customize permissions so that they can administer privileges according to the principle of least privileges and give users only the access that they need to do their job. On the vulnerability report side, we are getting close to finishing up a large effort to refactor our search and filter on this page. This new layout with this filter bar is consistent with the way search and filter is done in other parts of GitLab. It also is more scalable. So as of today, we have like 5 drop-downs that pretty much take up all of the horizontal real estate on the page. This new filter bar is going to be much more scalable so that we can continue to add additional filters in the future without running out of space. Similarly, we're working on filtering for the dependency list as well. We've been gradually adding additional filters, including the project and license filter. The next one up is the component filter, which actually is really exciting because a very common use case for this page is to go and find a specific dependency in a specific version. And this filter will allow you to do just that. So if you're looking for example, a vulnerable version of log4j, you could come in and filter by component and type in log4j, and you would immediately get the list of projects that contain that package. And then on the security policy side and compliance side, we have our policy scoping capability, which allows you to take a group level policy and scope it only to specific projects that have a compliance framework label applied. That has been released as an experiment. We're working to bring that to GA, and also we're working to augment the Compliance Center Framework tab by also showing which policies have been linked to their frameworks. So that way you can see it on both ends, and you can manage that linking in either location. And then lastly, we're continuing to improve our compliance standards adherence report. Right now we have 4 checks enabled today. We're working to add support for all 7 of these starting criteria for the SOC 2 report so that users can more easily monitor their compliance with these SOC 2 requirements. And that's all I've got for today. I'll be handing it off to Josh.
Thanks, Sam. I'll be talking through our core platform section, and let me go ahead and get my screen shared. But as with others, this is not the only things that we are working on in this release. We are also working on a number of other issues, improvements as well. But these are the key highlights we're working on within the Managed and Core Platform sections. And we'll kick things off with the world-class DevOps experience and with our Foundations group. So the Foundations group is working to continue our design system, and in particular, implementing design tokens. This way we can have a uniform way of referencing the actual design components and using them across the product. This will help us to roll out and further improve things like dark mode, as well as other accessibility related themes, which we're very excited about. And so in this particular release, we are looking to better understand how much work it will take to roll these out across the system and maintain them over time and at scale. Over on the import integrate side of things, we are working on our user contribution mapping functionality. This will provide improved tools for users to control what contributions are imported and associated with their user accounts, which we are quite excited about. And then over towards the Geo team, we are continuing our work to improve the unified backup. So right now we have different tools for backing up the different types of GitLab deployments, and we want to go ahead and unify these under one common CLI to serve as a foundation going forward, which we will then be using to further improve the backup process by adding things like point-in-time recovery and better support for incremental backups and really kind of streaming backups as well. So we're very excited about this once we have this foundation in place with the improvements that are coming from things like Giddily. Speaking of Giddily, we have continued our work in ref table support, and these changes are now upstream within Git, which we are very excited about. And so largely that work is done. And now the remaining work that we have is to actually convert over from the files to the new ref table backend within Giddily itself, so we can actually realize these benefits that have now been merged into Git itself. The key benefit here is that the ref table backend is significantly more performant in general than the old files-based implementation. And so this will allow us to serve content within Giddily to our users much more quickly, in particular as those repositories grow in scale and the number of refs. So if you have, for example, mono repositories or large repositories that have a lot of commits and other refs, this will make that significantly more important and performant for your servers, but also for your users, which we're very excited about. Moving over towards the next section, which is our Cloud Connector team. They are working on helping to support Taylor and team in the Duo Chat general availability. And the main item they're working on here is further working on adding support for the Duo Pro add-on within Chat and how that functions with the Cloud Connector. So that's what that team is focused on and supporting that overall launch. And then moving over towards our search team, they are continuing to run some experiments on implementation and utilization of hybrid search. Hybrid search is combining both semantic, which is natural language, also keyword-based search, which is matching, and using them as a single consolidated set of relevance for returning the most relevant content for what our users are searching for, and really kind of leveraging both the best of these models that we have. And so they're running some experiments here to better inform our future roadmap and how we can potentially use this in the future. We are also improving our new code search, which is based on our new backend called Zoot, and we're adding support for filtering by archived and forks. And so this way, if you have a bunch of personal forks, for example, those are probably not the most relevant things to be returning to our users as opposed to the primary repositories. And so we can make that easy for them to filter out and no longer see those results. And this has been a popular request from our users. Moving on over to our kind of more maintenance related work, we have our distribution team, and we have been working to become more up to date on our Kubernetes support in general, and again, Kubernetes overall. And actually, I misspoke. This is actually the Giddily team we'll talk about first, and then get to the distribution team. But the Giddily team is working on better understanding what it will take to support Giddily on Kubernetes. This has been a common request, so we can move away from the hybrid reference architecture more towards a fully cloud-native architecture, which is much more efficient for our users to maintain and our customers, which we're looking forward to. And there are some things we look through, things like C groups and things like that in IO. And so we're looking to kind of get a good understanding of what it will take to make that happen for our customers in the future. Over on the Tenant team, we are continuing our work towards Cells, which is the new, more scalable architecture for GitLab, in particular GitLab.com. And so we're working to run essentially multiple small versions of GitLab that behave like a large instance. And to do that, we'll need a routing layer for routing requests to the right kind of cell, if you will. So this is one of the key areas we're working on for this milestone. And moving over towards our database group, we are continuing to help support the GitLab.com database and make it more efficient. And one of the areas that we are doing that is by implementation of the sharding key. This will help. This is a key requirement for our Tenant team, but it should also make some queries more performant as well. And so this will allow us to filter really quickly on an organization within the database and return results more quickly. And again, that's required also to help fan out and provide the isolation that's required for cells as well. The database group is also working on reducing the lightweight lock contention. So this is one of the areas that a database, because our GitLab.com database is currently very large, that we're seeing some pressure and potential, areas to optimize. And so the team is looking at ways to help improve this. And this is sort of a relatively nuanced feature of our aspect of Postgres. But overall, we're going to hopefully continue to improve performance and reduce the impact of this. And then we're also working to add further telemetry to our Cloud Connector SaaS service, so we can better understand a few of our key success metrics and how users are using the system, and so we can better operate it. And the last is actually that final item I mentioned before, which is the distribution support for Kubernetes 1.2.9. And this is because we were a little bit behind on adding support for the newly launched Kubernetes versions. And so we've been adding support over the past couple of milestones to catch back up again. And this is part of that effort to help be more up to date. And so if you're running a very recent version of Kubernetes, you can be confident that GitLab will be available on that version and work correctly. And with that, I think I hand it back to Matthew. Is that correct, Justin?
Actually, Derek's going to cover dev section today.
Okay, great. Sorry. Over to you, Derek.
Yeah, thank you, Josh. All right, I will cover dev section, and let me share my screen. All right, starting off in plan and the knowledge group, we're going to be working on adding autocomplete in the rich text editor for wiki pages, so that it's easier to mention those and get them into your comments and issues. Rather than having to copy them over, the autocomplete will automatically populate that for you. And this is just the first iteration in improving the connectivity and the interoperability between the wiki pages and the rest of the Agile planning workflow. All right, looking at GitLab pages, we're going to continue working on the ability to have things, to have multiple deployments with pages so that customers can have a staging site or ways to preview changes without actually making the change on their production pages site. This should help with being able to validate changes before it's pushed out to production. We'll also be adding in the ability to use GitLab pages without a DNS wildcard. This should help with custom domains and being able to set these up without having to put these custom wildcards into the SSL TLS records, DNS records, to be able to validate those. All right, moving over to optimize. We're going to be adding a few improvements to the value streams dashboard. The first one is that we're going to be adding the median time to merge, so that customers can keep track of trends on how long it's taking their teams to merge MRs. We'll also be adding a usage overview panel. This is already in self-manage admin only, but we'll be adding this into .com so that the top level namespace will be able to see an overview of their usage at a glance and be able to see exactly what's going on with their top level groups. All right, we'll also be adding in the ability to schedule reports and to generate reports a lot easier to being able to automate those so that that admins and executives can easily get the information that they need whenever they want it, rather than having to go and manually create those reports. Also be working on changing the value streams dashboard YAML configuration to conform to the analytics dashboard schema. This will just help with the ability to do this across the board, so that you don't have to change the schema when you're going in between the different features. All right, moving on to the editor extensions group. Looking at our code suggestions group, or code suggestions feature, we're going to be working on implementing a dynamic language detection. Right now, we rely on an allow list to let the editor extension know which languages we'll be able to provide code suggestions for. We want to move to dynamically detecting which language is there, so that we can expand the range of the languages that we support in code suggestions. All right, we're also going to be working on a lot of improvements to Duo Chat in JetBrains. There's a whole bunch of things that are assigned to this milestone. So I'm not going to go through each and every one of them, but you can come to these epics and look through them yourselves. But there are a lot of improvements that we're working on for Duo Chat within JetBrains, as well as Duo Chat within Visual Studio. There's several improvements that we're working on there. So these can also be looked through at your leisure. And then we'll also be working on the streaming the code suggestions to the different IDEs. Currently, streaming is only supported in VS Code, so we're working on expanding that into the different IDEs, as well as improving the usability of this within VS Code. All right, and that is all that I've got for dev. I will send it back over to Justin.
Awesome. Thank you, Derek. That was great. So I want to thank all the presenters, especially Derek, who jumped in there. I'll cover a few highlights. So I'm really excited from the data science section, all the progress on GitLab Duo. It's awesome to see that continue to improve, almost week after week. On CI/CD Native Secrets Manager, I think you may have saw me clap when Jackie was talking through that. And then I'm excited about the Google Console beta launch. I know many of us will be at Google Cloud Next at the end of April, I think. I'm so excited to see that come live. On secure pre-received secret detection, tons of our customers have been asking for this. I know the team's been working really hard on it, so excited to see progress there. And then vulnerable report filtering. I'm a big filtering fan, and everything we've done across the product to make filtering and finding things in GitLab easier. I'm really excited about those improvements. Although they seem small, they're incredibly important. On core platforms, unified backup MVC. I think it's a really great improvement. And then ref table support. It's cool to see something accepted, upstream and get proper, and then us benefit from that from a performance perspective. And then in dev section, I listed four that were really interesting. Median time to merge in value stream dashboards. I'd love to see that personally for my teams. And then report generation. I think leaders and anyone who's looking regularly at performance and sort of team efficiencies will love that. Duo chat for JetBrains. I know of a couple JetBrains customers or GitLab customers that are big JetBrains users that will love to see that, and then streaming improvements. So well done to everyone and excited for this release. Please take a look at the release kickoff page. Take a look at direction pages. These are only a small portion of the things we're working on this milestone. And so congrats to everyone and well done, and we'll see you next time.